They gave FaZe a hard time, and they actually did in the last season as well when they had their matchup head-to-heads as Train, and they actually crushed FaZe on Train. Well, Happy will get the first kill into Rain. And you kind of have to go for some of these peaks on the CT side. You really need to try to thin out the numbers. Other peaks, take the jewels, which are pretty good for you at the beginning of the rounds. And sometimes it doesn't go your way, though. But there's an equalizer from Carrigan, and he'll continue to tap away. Pap, pap, pap.
Skitty pop.
Skitty pap.
Skitty pop pop.
2 + 2 is 4.
-1, that's 3 quick math.
Raw sauce. Wonder when that will be old hat. Oh boy. Haji, dude. Monsieur. Second AWP, USP connected by the T side. RPK looking like he's turning with a trackball. Guardian and Nico remain. Guardian with all of 4 HP, trying to hide for as long as possible. Still headshots from Happy. Overkill. Now Nico is alone. Oh god, it makes it just casually devastating. Trying to avoid the trade frag situation. Looking for it. You can see he's hunting on his screen. And Scream will finally deliver what he wants.
So pistol goes to ENVYUS, which is going to allow them to go and buy the MAC-10s. They do like to get 4 MAC-10s. Well, they'll actually get 2 AKs. Haji, what are you doing? But that's good. I think 3 is fine enough. It was somewhat of a thing that pretty much only they did. I think I've seen NRG maybe do like 4 MAC-10s before, but generally no one does that many except ENVYUS.
Yesterday we saw United.
United, yes. Although they were on 130 ping as well.
That's true.
So maybe that was one of the reasons for it.
Gotta factor that in.
And existing on the side. We saw some shenanigans here from FaZe yesterday.
Both ways.
Both ways, yeah. Rain and 2 Rain. But the AKs will be collected, and that will work out pretty perfectly for ENVYUS actually, and they'll win by elimination. We get a full save from FaZe, so it's a world where you don't have these 3 rounds, guys. Yeah.
I like this world.
I think I don't know. There's like almost nothing I like about it, but I don't want to start without it. Damn. No,
it is interesting because like I can see a world where like a league enforces, okay, we're just gonna get rid of these 3 rounds, but get the anti-eco here and hello. KG will deal with that. Okay, so that's this round almost over. We get to see the little fish swimming around, little fish physics.
What if you start with 5K instead of 10? So you don't just have like 5 auto snipers and all their
I mean that's fine. That's fine, I think. I think that's totally fine as well.
You get a little creative.
I think anything that, you know, like keeps the integrity of Counter-Strike and actually but yeah, I think it's interesting. It's an interesting way to do things. Just because, for example, like sometimes if you do have a best of 5 and it's a slow map, those games can go on for an extremely long time. And I do sometimes wonder how that affects the, you know, from like an endurance perspective. It's just going to like weigh on the players, and it makes it harder for the broadcast as well. So
yeah, I think the tricky part though is that if you take the first 3 rounds out and you say you start with 5K, and you want a shorter game,
yeah,
and you're suddenly making it a little bit more volatile at the same time.
I think so.
Because you take off the amount of rounds that, like, you make the game shorter, so it's like almost the same thing in some sense, right?
So I see what you're saying. Either way, we'll pause the discussion for now as the quick push into B comes in. ENVYUS, they will be successful in their appropriation of the banana.
That's a good start. Good start for Envy here on Inferno. All the CTs close to the site. No kits for these players. If one guy gets picked off at the CT side, that might mark the end of things. Surely now it's time to back off. Surely it's time to hold on to what they have. Indeed, they recognize the signs exist. Oh, there goes Guardian. They will be able to fight together regardless. Can he rescue something from this? Is there a sniper rifle? He expects to be hunted. Kishima will land the final puncture. The wheels will turn no more.
Continuing very confidently. Another round of the first.
And another
second,
one.
Another one. And another one.
I actually don't know how it sounds, so I'm just guessing.
And another one.
Another one.
Gonna have to put your tongue to the roof of your mouth a little bit. Get the peanut butter in there.
Come on, James, you got it. You got this.
I don't. I promise I wouldn't do it again. I can't.
But you're really convinced you could do it?
I can't go back.
That's true.
I'm not large enough. I'm not wide enough to get that kind of voice. Needs to be a wide man. I'm trying though. I've eaten a lot of burgers recently.
You get a whiskey in there. Make that voice a bit hoarser. More horse. Ooh, that's a dangerous game against Nico, but Kiyoshima's fine. Rain looking to save the AK.
Whiskey, a cigarette, and a burger.
the diets. That's the year plan, James. Whiskey, cigarettes, and burgers.
You first.
That sounds so awful. I mean, it wouldn't be good whiskey either, because you know, if you're drinking it too often to afford the good stuff.
Whiskey's too strong for me.
Yamazaki is my favorite. The Yamazaki.
I'll take a Campari.
Catch James Bardoff double fisting Smirnoff Ice on the dance floor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, those were the
front
days.
row.
Those were the days. If you can't dance, it doesn't matter if you're drunk and the drum and bass is on. It matters not. Especially if you have an air horn. Added pretty flowers.
I think I have to say that one of the most annoying, maybe the most annoying prop we've ever had is an air horn.
Prop. We had an air horn? Oh, yeah.
In OC, the OC studio.
That's James fondly
Sports
reminisces on the
Oh,
time.
man.
It wasn't even, I think it was Mr. Krunkvist who...
That was fun
air horn.
because people inside and outside of the studio would just absolutely crap their pants when someone pressed the air horn. There'd be a panic.
So loud, it's crazy how it generates so much
Hype.
noise. Decibels were crazy.
On the subject of decibels, AWP is quite loud as well. Guardian with an air horn of his own. Second tag, first frag. They continue to, well, they look to re-aggress the CT side. Ooh, that flashbang was just the right time. But the baits will lead Carrigan out. Sorry, RPK out to be shot by Carrigan. FaZe still with some advantages here. But if Envy go towards B, it's just Nico between B and Envy.
So it's pretty awkward now for ENVYUS with the health being so low. They have nades, but it should be a pretty easy defense at this point, I think, for FaZe. Just this lack of health, it honestly is such an issue. Happy being the strongest guy at half health is not a good look, but everyone will die in one bullet, basically, other than him. They're trying to flash his way forwards. Flash connected, it would have been good, but Happy, his dive will not be successful.
Oh, small chance.
Oh my goodness. Any stray bullets will do their job, and Kiyoshima now has to find two immediate headshots, and Exist will just hold it down. First round going to FaZe, 1-2-5 now for them as they look to build on that. But
do you think if you pause that for a second, was there a way to play the 2v1 to ensure the kill on the guy in pit? So Haji seemed like he got a little panicked and then peeked, but I was like, is there even a better situation where they can guarantee a trade on that player? That's hard.
I feel like Happy needs to pick up the smoke that Bolts throws from Apps, which goes further out of the balcony and actually gives you some room to work with, because the one Happy throws, if he goes out the balcony, he can't see anything, whereas Bolts can see a fair bit here, a fair bit there. Scream taking Rain out, a revenge frag, and he's made his way towards the arch position now. But has that been detected by the CTs? Perhaps it has! Nice burst from the Scream to take Harrigan out, and he looks to wrap towards B.
They know Nico is solo, almost always so. Scream doesn't even clear anything else, and Haji kills Nico. So that's a free split. RPK's here as the lurk, but
what?
not so sneaky apparently.
How did he manage that one?
I couldn't tell you.
How did he get that? It's a headshot and everything. That's pretty massive because that ridiculous kill from Guardian enables a 2v2 retake. If Guardian dies there, the round's over. You
That's
switched out for the
true.
AK now as well.
Moving forward is Guardian. Does he see Screen by second oranges? Not just yet. That's a nice BT grenade, but his back is exposed. Existence only knows where Scream is, but not where Haji is. Running out of time to find these second frags. The white pick from Scream. Round number 6 for ENVYUS.
The 4K for Scream. Starting things off well, 8-2.
You see a lead like this, but you know with Envy, even if they win this game, it's not going to be. It's going to be a close
Ooh.
game. Jesus, you saw the flicker of the scope.
Yeah, that was great. The AWP is an extension, a mere extension of Guardian. He does not wield an AWP, he is the AWP. Look at FaZe's
Megatron.
money.
Guardian is Megatron, isn't he?
Yeah, this is a perfect start for ENVYUS. Look at what they've done. Look at what they've done.
But you know this game will be close.
Yeah.
It will be close.
You think so?
This kind of start only means so much versus Envy. I mean versus FaZe. Very rare they allow a score like this to persist. They'll be like, FaZe be like, you think you're so tough. CZs and Kevlar. For FaZe clan. 2 smoke grenades. So they're not they're focusing on the frags quite simply rather than the smoke grenade, the delay tactics.
Ooh!
Oh man.
I think he like hit 3 of them individually with 3 bullets. It's like pop pop. Perfect there for Envy. But look at this smoke, haha! Look how afraid they are of a mere smoke. But in all seriousness, that B-bomb side belongs to Envy. There is Carrigan. He's got a smoke too, so he'll drop that soon enough. But they should run through it basically with a flashbang at this point. I mean, they already know that at worst 2 players on the site itself. So they should just run through this with the flashbangs. And there it is. Carrigan does get a kill somehow.
He's been so unlucky.
I don't know how that works, but 3v2 after plant. No kit for FaZe. I'll try to get in there. I think there is definitely some value for Guardian to save the AK. So let's see if he can save it. It just affords him opportunities to do more damage in the following rounds. His team won't be able to buy or anything like that, but he'll get better opportunities to get frags. And frags means damage to ENVYUS' economy, so when FaZe do win a rounds off a buy, then things will look a bit easier for them. But he'll be able to do that. He'll be able to save.
Set is 7 in French. S-E-P-T, almost like September.
In Italian is setto. Setto.
Round number 7 for Envy.
Round number nuovo in Italian.
Set is 3 in Korean.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
What is 7 in Korean?
Ilgop, I think.
You what?
Ilgop.
Ilgu.
Ilgop.
Here you go. The goop. Kirishima giving Rain the goop. There's goop everywhere.
Goop or gloop?
It reminds me of those game shows where they would like spill like this green goop on people.
The gunge.
The gunge, yeah.
The
Gunge.
That's what we would call it in the UK, the gunge.
Get gunged.
Those were my favourite shows. Noel Edmonds' House Party
Oh yeah, yeah.
was my favourite show.
Funhouse.
Noel
Fun
Edmonds
House.
went on to do Deal or No Deal. I
How's
had
it
Mr.
going?
Blobby's
Mr. Blobby.
CD. Mr. Blobby.
Barney the dinosaur. Okay, well, FaZe on the bye again. They really can't afford to lose this round. They cannot afford to lose this round. What a strange game for them so far. Carrigan with a reactive smoke. Crossfire's hand. Oh man, Nico got battered by Haji. Carrigan gets battered by RPK. And it's a 4v3 on the B-bomb side. And FaZe are in a really awful spot here. If they just survive with these 3 guns and save, they can force by next round with it, and it looks good. If they lose 1 or 2 of the guns, then they are saving next round. So they will.
That's a wrap.
FaZe do this a lot. They like to leave Nico on B, just let him frag, and sometimes it works, honestly. But I think it's good advice for any pro team, especially like for ENVYUS, to go and abuse that as much as possible. Try to push top banana, try to kill Nico, force them to take 1 off A, because if not, they're just going to continue to stack A every round.
And it's very much a know your opponent thing, and that's a really cool concept too, from the perspective of in-game leading and how you set up calling, because you don't want to play the opposing team too much, but you do want to take into account certain things, and then, for example, you could understand that, oh, this could be around, whereas you're saying this is a thing that they might be doing, a potential weakness. We have something in our playbook to exploit this, as opposed to being like, they're always doing this, let's adapt something which we haven't got in our routine.
Guardian outstaying his welcome, and that's one of only 2 weapons that FaZe have in this round. Envy spreading out. Do wonder if I mean, obviously the previous game was to qualify for LAN for FaZe. They do have some seeding to fight for, however. Better you do. Theoretically, the weaker team you'll play at LAN, I presume. ECS continues with the AWP.
Bosh. FaZe drifting over towards the B-bomb site now, stacking it. And they're gambling that ENVYUS will double back, but they are actually pushing with Carrigan, so Carrigan can get the info, but it may be too slow if ENVY decide to commit to A. And now you can see that indeed, with the info that Carrigan has, ECS will rotate his AWP back to A. So ENVYUS may have missed the timing. Also, FaZe just played it really well. And there's guns here for Carrigan and the flank too. So this is potentially a very good look here for FaZe. Carrigan will surely end the round. 3 players. Oh my goodness, can't get a single one, but his teammates will do the damage regardless. So although Carrigan couldn't get a frag, he got the information for the rotation.
And he got really unlucky with the fight too. I mean, it was a really nice turnaround from Keo.
It's all fine. Everything is fine.
The thing about seeding is they would get, so FaZe are like the worst seed in EU. They would either play like NRG or Astralis in the front. I would feel more scared for NRG in that situation. But having to play Astralis, that would be really rough too.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah.
Always the best way to do anything.
Yeah.
Let's get straight in there. Sink or swim. Minute 30 on the clock. Plenty of time for Envy. They'll offer a grenade towards... Ooh, hello. However, look at Nico's position. He is ahead of it, so... FaZe know that there is a heightened likelihood of a push towards A. That was cheeky. There is Nico reacting. What can Envy do with this now? Pop flash into apartments, and FaZe maybe have found their groove here on Inferno. Carrigan picked off towards Arc, but Rain is here as well, and he's really good for it. Headshot after headshot after headshot. Round number 3 for FaZe.
We can see that Envy didn't really make any huge mistakes. That's changed the rounds too much, but they have changed their attention from B to A, and maybe they need to go back to that at least for a little bit, because we did see Carrigan get a lot of info in the previous round when they tried to go A, and if that happens, that means they could have gotten a frag and gone to the other site, and so that means your round wasn't over yet.
Charging through the smoke. Are they good for it though? Carrigan gets 2. Happy picks off at the bottom of mid in the meantime, so there's difficulty here. Haji now see the money situation. Envy may be able to buy anyway. Definitely a question of damage. Keep them poor, FaZe. Ooh, double peek. Wasn't expecting that, and only one man lost for FaZe.
Well, there's still a good opportunity with the money that's remaining for ENVYUS to continue gaining rounds, continue making things awkward for ENVYUS, rather for FaZe, sorry. Maybe they'll make things awkward for themselves. It's always a possibility, it's happened. But they have taken a pause here, so it's curious as to what they're discussing. I would imagine that it is going to be a tactical pause, not an emotional pause. And maybe they're discussing how, like, where they've had the most success. Banana has obviously been a big feature of that. And that B-bomb side has often been taken quite quickly by them. Their pushes into that side being very strong. But they'll open things up with a default focusing on a more passive approach to Banana at the beginning. And focusing more on taking apartments. And that's going to work out because RPK finds an aggressive Guardian. And you can presume that the Guardian would not be alone there, that he would have support. So ENVYUS are taking due care as they push forwards. Exist is lurking in the apps. Not a good engagement. Wants to fall back out of there. Got to be careful. If he goes down, the round is really in trouble for FaZe. And look at this. Nico gets a headshot down Banana. We've got Rain pushing middle. FaZe, my god, they're all over the place. Rain, you beast. He might win the round for his team, but turns away. RPK finds the timing. And all of a sudden, just like that, it's a 2v2. Crazy stuff. Nico has repositioned to the bottom of second mid. RPK gets the frag, but he needs to get that bomb. And Nico knows that it's there. There's surely no way that RPK can survive picking up the bomb here. It's in the open. Nico's on it with an AWP. And indeed, he's got a very good angle. FaZe win the round. Crazy.
Crazy round, yeah.
Crazy round.
So FaZe actually do a lot of subtle stuff that you can see in demos where they do these like aggressive misdirection plays. There was a YouTube video I have for my team that's listed for it. It was from ECS actually, where on train they would have someone sneak out to back 6 while they had a whole distraction where they'd set up at IV and they'd flash him out. You would never know that he got that far. And they basically do it by taking 2 risks in the round.
Very Fnatic-esque in that way. Sort of pushing things, like both things at once, which kind of doesn't make sense, but they're so good they can find the gaps. Speaking of gaps, there's a big one in the B-bomb side right now. Explosive rounding once again, ENVYUS going to the success of this B site, but Rain in for the quick flank. The smokes will cover. Maybe they'll be ready for this. Kiyoshima indeed. 10-5. ENVYUS, if they win this next pistol, they are looking good. I'm
shocked they actually stole that back on a B rush of all things.
Yeah.
And RBK, I mean, he's the man. Look at this.
Just a man.
Boom, boom, pow.
Let's see then. What they're able to do, Envy. Again, they are in a precarious position at the very bottom of the leaderboard. They can't make it to land, but they can make it out of relegation. I'm sure they would love to do so after their recent failures elsewhere. So far, so good here on this pistol.
Wow. Okay, things just got real interesting for FaZe. Things just got real interesting.
How are they going to pull this one back? That's actually tough. And they're buying into this one. Not so easy to do from the T side.
Yeah, no bomb down. Get those pistols and Kevlars out. Will ENVYUS play a quick round? Happy just shoulder peeking, looking for info if there is to be a lot of noise towards mid. I think ENVYUS are playing a ENVYUS is playing this well right now. They're not really... They're respecting that it's going to be CZs and so on. So they're trying not to get caught out in the open, which is how you want to do it. But Kiyoshima's already tagged up here. This makes him very susceptible to these CZs. He has to fall back. And this is creating a potential plan B in the round. By going for that balcony push, it doesn't work out. Scream turns around in time. Very cognizant from Scream. Very, very important defense there. Scream goes down, the round is very open for FaZe, but right now it's looking quite difficult. They're quite weak though. ENVYUS players, that is. Health is low. Guardian sneaking the bomb through to library, it seems. And let's see if he's able to get something done there. He's got some good health, Guardian. No, it's just Guardian. They seem to have spotted it. ENVYUS convert with 4 players surviving. I expect there to be disaster at every single turn.
Every turn, yeah.
Surely they lose against the Force Fight. Surely at these blocks.
I mean, I'm still holding my breath because, you know,
Yeah.
could be just 4 or 5 rifle rounds in a row. Who knows? It's not going to be easy all the way to the end.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Envy have some kind of mental block, you know? I feel like they're victims in some sense. They just are used to losing when they shouldn't even. So, I mean, I saw Scream tweet about how important confidence was, and yeah, that's just maybe one of their biggest hurdles, considering the fact that they do have a good roster.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, seemingly, you know, if all of the players have sort of, I mean, it seems collectively sort of given up on the team. I mean, it seems that way. How else can you interpret all of the various tweets and the responses and reactions from the members? But as you said, they're great players. They just, as Kiyoshiima said, you just can't force chemistry. So, speaking of Kiyoshiima, going so aggressive. M4 in Nico's face gets the upgrade for the AK. Is the pressure on Banana. Haji pushing apps with the MP9. Ooh, and that's a good frag there as well. FaZe are in trouble.
3 players remaining for FaZe. They still have the bomb. 2 CTs per site. So they have a man advantage on a push while Kiyoshiima rotates. There is a clock of man advantage. Carries with some pre-fire. Doesn't spot Haji though. And that's the bomb lost in a very exposed position. Guardian is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble indeed.
He's in some Barney, James. Oh! That's a good start. Oh, another one. Guardian. Maybe he's not in trouble after all. Oh, continues to go for the taps. You almost see it happening in your mind's eye. Guardian ready, but RPK is quick on the angle, holding, patient, disciplines, 14-5.
It's really happening. That's got to be one of the last.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut up!
I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to bring in the bad juju.
The jinx. The jinx is. We gotta just let it happen.
It's 14-5. Daniel.
Yeah, but it's gonna be 16-14 to FaZe, isn't it?
Where's the faith?
Where's the faith?
I don't know. I just you know, accidentally looking at the worst case scenario here for ENVYUS, but that's a great start from Scream. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. Like all of them.
Yeah.
Like Kiyoshiima, Scream, everybody is playing with a great deal of confidence. Kiyoshima's 22 for 8. It's actually happy that's at the bottom of the scoreboard, which you almost never see for ENVYUS. And it's about to be 15 rounds here for ENVYUS. They've done a great job. Not respecting FaZe. It's crazy that there is a world where they could have won the first map as well, and then for this result to have happened, it's a shame that they weren't able to take cash. Still a chance for FaZe, but it's a rough one. 10 in a row. That is not easy.
I mean, it's got to happen, right?
Well, now it's not going to happen. Now you said that.
Where's the faith, James?
It's the jinx, isn't it?
Oh my god.
You said it's going to happen.
I'm not superstitious.
Our faith is in a superstition.
I'll be
Which
walking
means it's
under ladders backwards with black cats.
There we go. There is the beginning
It's
of
happening.
Something. James and Dan starts convulsing.
This is happening, guys.
Well, good.
God. Oh, it's unhappening.
Hello.
Yeah, it has happened. Oh dear.
It's happening.
Oh no.
It's back.
Scream now. He's being very confident. There's number 1, BM4. Second one. Number 3 perhaps? No. But he has created the 2v2 here, but the bomb site is open for FaZe. Deep molly to slow down any plants inside the site, but it's not going to stop defaults. How do they handle this? What do they do? Who do they be?
Kiyashima has a smoke with which she can create some space. I think he smoked top mid. Which is interesting. Happy's picked up another smoke. There is Karrigan taking Kiyashima out. And there's a round for FaZe, so we look at the money situation for Envy and see if they can buy in the next round. Looks like they can. Lots of money, plenty of cash. 9 rounds required for FaZe.
9 short rounds.
A mere 9 rounds.
How much juice in the tank?
Those bells did not make a sound.
That was strange. Like in my mind's eye, I was like, he's gonna shoot that bell, but I didn't think he'd do it.
Yeah. Oh, nothing's happened. It's just checking. Maybe it's an Easter egg. That would be funny if like one of them did make a bell sound.
Oh my god.
Like in the Easter egg.
Oh, Happy was unlucky there, but Kiyashima had more success towards B. Nico getting aggressive early on his own. Now he's gone, he's a goner. All he can do now is bear witness. Ooh. Okay, the way ECS was lining up suggested the smoke on the balcony. But it seems he and his teammate are simply going to walk out unannounced. Very little warning. Haji spotting the head, but he can't quite finish off the job. They're lining up for Scream. And that might be the game. Guardian now in a 1 versus 4. Looking for Scream, keeping around the smoke. Happy gives him a kill. Look at the off angle held by Scream on top of the double stack. Guardian looking for some rotation, and he found some. His head will rotate on the ground.